What's going on, guys? Uh, Today, the Supreme Court, I don't know if you guys pay any attention to what's going on, but today some big things happened, and the Supreme Court ruled on many things. Well, one of the things they ruled on is the fact that the Second Amendment gives us the right to carry arm or carry. What they said was to carry a gun uh, on yourself, concealed, however you want to carry it, for nothing more than self defense, if that's the only reason you want to carry it. And the Supreme Court even backed that ruling today, saying that that's right, and that New York and California and Illinois, especially Chicago, their gun laws are overstepped the bounds. Well, any gun laws oversteps the bounds of the U.S., the original U.S. Constitution. It is very clear. The Constitution, when they signed it, they made it very clear. It was the very second one. The first one was the most important one. The second one was to guarantee the first one be carried out. Now, but what they want you to believe the Second Amendment is all about is just handguns and rifles and shotguns. No, people. The Second Amendment says this, that you have the right to bear arms, and that shall not be infringed. Now, the reason they use the word infringed, people, at that time, if you had a flag and you was a nation and that flag was infringed, you was a conquered nation. Infringed means wrapped in gold around the edges. Fringe. That's where that word comes from. Fringe. Well, it comes from this. Infringed. Shall not be infringed. That means it shall not be taken down, conquered, or anything. It doesn't give you any reason why you should be able to take somebody's right to bear arms away from them. And just so you know, folks, this was put into place so that we, the people, could stay in control of this country. Whatever the government militaries had, we had the right to, in order to be able to defend ourselves from them. That's what the Second Amendment is all about. The right to bear arms, not guns, or not just guns. The right to bear arms, any kind of arms, bulletproofing, any kind of weapons, any kind of F-16 fighter planes, any kind of helicopters, any kind of whatever the military had that was run by the government, whatever they had, we have the right to. That's a fact. If you don't believe me, you better freaking look it up. It ain't just about guns. Now, they haven't only infringed the Second Amendment for over 140 years at least. They haven't only infringed it, they wiped their butts with it. Now, let me tell you, I read you what the Constitution, the original Constitution said the Second Amendment was and shall not be infringed. Look the words up if you don't understand them. We here in Ohio, I kind of understand why Ohio and Indiana and probably some more states all of a sudden before today pass laws for those states to become constitutional carry. Indiana did it, I know for a fact. And Ohio did it, I know for a fact. I'm sure there's other states that did it too because they were told that this ruling was going to come out. Guarantee it. Now, I ain't heard if Illinois has because Chicago's got some pretty strong, or Illinois got some pretty strong gun laws, a lot more than Indiana ever had. And but any laws, an age requirement, a background check, anything is it goes against the United States Constitution, the Republic of the United States Constitution. You can believe whatever you want. Ain't gonna affect me. Uh, let's put it like this: constitutional carry in Ohio, and they use the word constitutional carry, and it's still a lie. It's still a lie, folks. It's not. It shouldn't even be called constitutional carry, because it's not even close to constitutional. First thing is you have to be 21 to buy a gun, or at least a handgun in Ohio. 21. There's an infringement. If you have any federal or state charges that has kept you from having a gun or carrying a gun, that will not change. For number two, if you are carrying concealed in a school zone, you have to have a license or a permit. A school zone, folks, I did not say in a school or on school property. In a school zone. That could stretch out 5 blocks in every direction all the way around that school. If you're caught in one of these school zones with your gun, your handgun, in your car in Ohio, even though it's a constitutional carry state, if you're driving through one of those zones and get pulled over and found to have a gun, you have to have a license or a permit to have it in your car. They consider it a concealed weapon inside your car. Not in your house, but inside your car. They have. Ohio's been an open carry state for years. Open carry. But the minute you put your gun in your car, it becomes concealed. If it's on your hip, it don't matter. If it's inside the car, it was considered concealed. You had to, if you did not have a handgun license to carry a concealed weapon, you had to break your gun down, separate your bullets, your magazine, and your gun if it broke down that way, to where you cannot reach it from the driver's seat in order to carry it in your car. That's the way it was before this constitutional carry came in. If they catch you in a school zone, they can pop you with that same law unless you got a handgun license to carry a concealed weapon in your car. An infringement. The officers today, even though in Ohio it was passed, I think they said on the 9th, it became state law. The officers working the streets have not been told anything, how to handle anything any different than the way they've been handling it all the way up to now. They heard it became a constitutional carry, but they haven't been explained to them what that even means. Let me repeat this, folks. The Second Amendment of the Republic of the United States of America states, the right to bear arms shall not be infringed. And that was put in before the right to have a regulated militia. It had to be. Folks, what's the trim on your flag? What's the trim on your flag mean? The gold trim that they have on every one of them, behind the presidents, behind the vice president, behind their politicians, all your Speaker of the House, all your sheriff's departments and your police departments. What is the gold fringe around the American flag? Look it up on Google, folks. It tells you right on there. And a flag trimmed in gold means you're either under martial law or maritime admiralty law. You're not even under law of the land. You're under law of the sea. It's a fact. Just because you can't find it, because you don't want to take the time to look at it, the government knows you're not going to do that. They know those of us that does look at what they're doing is so few and far between that it doesn't matter. The masses believe what they're being told. That is why, folks. How could there is nobody that's a citizen of this country that can walk out of their house and guarantee they haven't broken a law every freaking day they leave. Nobody. There are so many laws. You can spit on the sidewalk, that breaks a law. There is so much bullshit laws on the books still today, folks. You can't ride a horse downtown Indianapolis. You can't. There's laws on the books that you can't walk in high heels downtown Indianapolis. They're still on the books. No, they're not enforced anymore, but they're still illegal for you to do it. And if they need something to nail you on, they can, because the laws were never removed. They don't remove laws, folks. They make new ones. That gives them loopholes to fuck you on when they really want to fuck you. Do you not understand that? Calling this a constitutional carry state, and the first thing you have to be 21. That breaks the original Constitution, Second Amendment, right there. Shall not be infringed. What part of that can you not fucking understand? Shall not be infringed in any way, shape, or form. Now, if you got somebody in jail, that's fine. They ain't going to have no guns while they're in your jail. But the second you turn them loose, you have no right under the Constitution, federal or local, to take a man's right away from him to be able to defend himself. Unless you're going to put bodyguards around him and make sure they are armed and can protect him and his family on a 24/7 basis. If you can't do that, then you can't promise his defense. He has the right to defend himself. Him or her. It's the most ridiculous shit. This stuff it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 to 10 words. The Second Amendment, 8 to 10 words. And you act like it's in some kind of code. It spells it flat out. Shall not be infringed. Cannot be fucked with. Now, it took the Supreme Court up to now to tell all the states what the Constitution says, because that's the Supreme Court the Supreme Court's job to interpret what the Constitution says. Now, there was so much stuff, unconstitutional shit going on, that it was brought all the way up to the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court ruled it is unconstitutional to keep people from carrying guns concealed, or however they want to carry a handgun, concealed or whatever, if nothing else, for nothing more than protection, self-defense. Well, the Constitution hasn't changed since 1776, according to them. If it hasn't changed, then any infringement on the Second Amendment, covering handguns, rifles, shotguns, and any damn other arms we can come up with, shields, swords, bows and arrows, or anything else we can build to defend ourselves, is legal and shall not be infringed. They use these words to convince you that what they say the Constitution says is what it says. That's not true. It's simply, it was written because a lot of the people involved in putting it together and writing it didn't even trust each other. So they wrote it in a manner that they felt good with everybody signing it. That's why the Second Amendment is second. They were even wanting you to be able to defend yourselves because they wanted to be able to defend themselves no matter what. And today it's even worse than it would have been back in 1776. And if you think about it, folks, not everybody's going to carry a gun. Not everybody wants a gun or owns a gun or wants to ever shoot a gun. So that whittles a fucking pile down. Now you take people that like shotguns and rifles for hunting and stuff, and they're not really worried about pistols. That knocks it down even further. So then there's, let's say, maybe half to 60% of people wanting to carry guns and for self-defense and shit. Can't remember where I was going with that. But anyway, say 60% of the people wanting to carry these guns. There should be, if you're in public, you got a bunch of clowns that want to come in. One of them's got a gun, and they're going to rob a place, or two of them's got a gun, they're going to rob a place. The way it is, most of the time they run in, they got one gun, they're swinging around, probably even empty. Sometimes it ain't. We've seen them shoot people and shit. So, but it's probably empty, just being used for intimidation. Well, if they thought 3 out of the 10 people in that store could be packing, they're not just going to jump out there and pull some bullshit thing, because they think that there could be a chance they could be shot. And that's the way it should be, folks. That stops some of the crime, too. If you unarm everybody, then the criminals are the only ones with the guns, and that includes the government. The criminals be the only ones with the guns. Folks, it's ridiculous, and it's going to stay ridiculous until we all come together and do something about it. There's 340 million of us. A half a million of them are a bunch of clowns that have forced all this shit on this entire country. People, Canada, they pump their oil out of the ground, pump it all the way from the north all the way to the southern border, in order to pump it into a pipe that's going to pump it into a ship that pumps it, that takes it overseas, refines it, takes it, puts it back on a ship, sends it back to Canada, and then sells it back to them as gas. Does that make any fucking sense? Would it make any sense if you believed it, that the American people are doing the same thing? But we're not allowed to pump our own oil. What they do is they outlaw us to pump it, and then they allow these other countries to bid on who wants to come in here and pump the oil out of America. And then it's these other countries that come in here and pump the oil out of our Gulfs, our frickin' oceans, Alaska and shit, and even across the country anymore. They take it overseas, fucking refine it over there, and sell it back to us. Why, folks? Why? If they gave a shit about us, look at the fuel they burn to ship it all over there to refine it and then ship it back. Is that good freaking business? It would be much smarter business to refine it where it's pumped out of the ground, especially if there's a lot of it. It doesn't. They make it that way so that they can sell it to you for a high rated price. Just like your chickens, people. We raise chickens here in America. Where do they get slaughtered? In China. We send our food to China, one of our biggest enemies. They slaughter our food and ship it back to us, and we eat it. Our enemies. People, this is your world. This is your country. These are your cities. They're kind of giving you a little bit of help now with this constitutional carry shit. But it ain't nothing. You gotta have to decide. I think we need to get a couple of full states together. Let everybody know it's time to say no. And everybody wants to say no. We got to start building the place for us. Can't cram all up into one place, though. That'd be an easy target. It's got to be spread out. And we just got to fucking say no. Good place would be like Texas and wherever there a lot of oil's coming out of the ground. Texas, the southern part of the southern states, whatever. Be the best place to be. Whole bottom of the country. And say no. Say no. All you have to do is say no. If everybody at a company that worked for a company, I don't care how big a corporation it is, if they've got 10,000 people working for them, if everybody came together and said, look, we're done with the bullshit. We all quit today unless we get a contract with certain things said. People, if everybody in a company demanded certain things or shut the company down, these big corporations like Walmart, big corporations, Amazon, all these fucking places, they'd fold in an hour or two. You know how many millions, if not billions of dollars they would lose to have something carry on like that? They would lose so much money, it ain't even funny. The light bills and the property bills and the water bills and all the shipment and all this stuff, they weren't, if the people that ran the place shut it down. No, their managers can't run it by themselves. There ain't enough managers. So, you guys got to think about this shit. You have the power in numbers. You don't have to use any weapons. Just say no. Just say no. Get your city, get your neighborhoods backing each other up. This is why you're supposed to love your neighbors. And the Bible says to love your neighbors. Doesn't mean you have to like them and trust them and all that, but get to know them. And everybody watches everybody's back. Get to know your neighbors and then get to know the neighbors from on out of there. Get into some kind of groups going or something where you all know each other. Hell, you could set up app on everybody's phone in that area. You could have 6,000-7,000 people on it. Set up an app, and if something's happening to somebody and a bunch of corrupted bullshit going on, they can push a couple of buttons and it alerts everybody in the area, and they all come there. They all come to that area and surround whatever's going on. Surround it. If it's bullshit, some kind of bullshit going on, then fix it. You don't need the damn police and shit to fix all this shit. Most of it. They're the ones that's the problem. People are robbing, breaking into houses and shit in your neighborhood. The men get together and they fix it themselves. That's defending yourselves. That's defending your families. That's defending your neighbors. It's what you're supposed to do. No. They want you so divided that you don't even wave at your neighbors when they drive by. You won't even talk to them. You won't even look at them. Wouldn't help them to do anything even if they asked or offered to pay you. That's a sad world, folks. You got to think about this shit. Watachi ain't gonna be around forever. This shit ain't hard to figure out. You read the Second Amendment, read it for yourself. Find out what the word infringed means. What it meant when they wrote it. Find out what the right to bear arms means. It doesn't just mean guns. The right to bear arms, whatever arms you can come up with. Sword, knife, bows and arrows, fucking assault rifles, machine guns, rocket launchers, F-16s, Apache helicopters, Black Hawk, freaking, all the freaking seaward ocean people. That's arms. Bulletproof vest is arms. Everything a SWAT team is carrying and has on is arms. The truck they drive in is an arm. It's considered arms. Everything they use is considered an armament of some kind. If I'm wrong, just show me. But I promise you, I'm right. Just please look it up. God loves you. I love you too. Till the next one.